Dan raps now, spits fire, does all the impersonations.
The impersonations.
I rap sandwiches is what I rap.
He's got Tony Soprano. That's about the only.
if
He
you
unwraps
did The Soprano.
sandwiches.
Look good age. Bobby
I saw
Bacala.
Wayne Brady in Vegas years ago, and I don't know what the meme is about white people loving Wayne Brady. I just think he's talented, all right? It has nothing to do with my skin color.
Wayne Brady's great.
He's good, right?
Yeah,
But I think
he's
it's a
good.
joke that white people love Wayne Brady for some reason. But he did that same thing. And he goes nuts. He's backstage, sound room, all that. One of his assistants comes out, starts writing down words on all these sheets, and they start ripping sheets, and he's just busting bars.
Wayne Brady has freestyle skills.
He's got vocal skills. He's good. Yeah, he's a talented dude. I'm surprised, actually, like, although he's famous, he didn't, like, make it.
Yeah. Well, he had the Whose Line Is It Anyways?
right.
Then
Yeah, I mean, that's
he made it enough.
Right, but it's not
he had
like
a
Chris
show.
Tucker or something. Like, he's not in these movies.
No, he hasn't really been in movies, but he did Hamilton in Chicago, for heaven's sakes.
What's the money on something like that? Everyone puts all that out there. Like, why do people go Broadway? I understand the art.
You just don't make money. That's the issue. You just don't make money.
There's
That's the
not a
thing.
lot of money on
Not
Broadway.
until Hamilton.
Yeah.
There's money in
those guys are
Hamilton.
making a
Now,
lot of money.
something changed with Hamilton because of all those people, not all of them, most of them were part of the off-Broadway versions of the show. While it was in development, they developed their characters, all that stuff. And they were not paid anything other than just like low scale for that.
Yeah.
And then Hamilton was such a huge hit that there was a case around it. And now if you are part of a show, if you're in the development part of a show that hits big, you get a percentage.
Well, I'll tell you what changed. It's social media. I mean, you do a show like that, it catches fire. I mean, look at everybody's business right now. Social media is so, it's such an integral thing to becoming big or making that type of money that you want to make.
Makes it accessible.
When would you say your first Instagram or your first social media post was? What was it? Do you remember what it was?
What, on social media?
Yeah.
Mine, I talked about this here before with my buddy Matt Shima. You might have met him on opening day.
Yeah.
I was working at a commercial gym, 2010. Whenever Instagram started, he's like, hey, check out this app. It's for photographers or something.
Yeah.
I think I posted my dog or like a pint of ice cream or something.
That's what
fat.
I did, I think.
4 likes.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
thought it was the
2
coolest
people.
thing in the world.
It was my
Hazy
two
photo.
coworkers.
Yeah.
It was my two coworkers.
I think I went back to take a look at like what I first ever posted. It was I think like 2010 is when I like first posted on Instagram, and I posted a picture of cookies on the conveyor belt at Safeway, and I put like getting the good
Dude,
stuff.
I thought you were a professional.
Yeah.
I'm a
Turn
professional.
the
You
phone
can't
off.
turn the phone off.
This isn't.
I think
out.
my
I
first
told them, I said, "Hey, turn your phones off."
I think my first pick was a picture of a Old English 40 ounce, probably.
College days.
Yeah, high school.
We call that
That's
a
illegal.
40.
First
That's
40
illegal,
first
yeah.
40 was in high school. You know.
I can't remember my first one, but I'm sure it was. I know one of my first ones was standing on a Muni bus stop for when the Giants won the series. I think in 14 or 12. 12.
So you're a little late to the social media.
I think so. I don't think it was my first, but it was just the one I can
someone
remember.
was climbing up the bus stop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Dan, before we get into this, buddy, you want to introduce our guest? Dan, ladies and gentlemen, you know Dan. Large Daniel.
You know
the
me.
one and only.
I've been
Roomy, we call him.
Roomy.
Gremlin
AKA
Roomy lives in the bunker.
the little big brother.
The most successful.
We are accompanied by my 2 oldest brothers, Big Mike, a.k.a. Mike Stormcloud, the original Stormcloud, and my oldest brother, Dominic Baywatch Bay.
What's up with the nickname?
He's our half brother. He's not even a full brother.
He's not even a full Stornaiuolo.
Wow.
The Diet Caramel, I guess, is what we're going to run with because they remember that.
The Diet Caramel.
What is up with nickname? I never had a nickname growing up. People call me Mike Farr.
Well, there's some interesting stories. I'll start as the oldest. Baywatch was, I was a subpar student in high school, and I had a.
What does that mean?
Like
D's?
I would just I was on sports teams, so what was you'd get like a 2.3 in order to stay on the team, and then you get whatever you got. And then you'd be on probation, you get 2.3 to stay on the team, and then you get whatever you got. And so I had a Spanish teacher, and his name was Manny Nodar, and he was also my basketball coach.
Coach Nodar.
And, Coach Nodar. And
Senor Nodar.
I can't remember if it was for grades, but or also hanging with a crowd at one of the sports games. But he said he's sitting there at the table, and he keeps me after class, and he goes, "Hey, Dom, listen, Bay, they're watching you, my friend. They're watching Bay close. They're on Baywatch." And I was
Wow.
like, and
I've
at the
never
time
heard this story
you're like, all
before.
right. And so then, of course, when the basketball coach, he's now at practice going, hey, Baywatch. And it's stuck.
But it's B-A-E?
B-E-I.
Oh.
The funny part is anyone that's ever heard Baywatch, they go, why do they call you Baywatch? Because they think you look like David Hasselhoff. And I was like, no, that's not it at all. It has nothing to do with the show. So that's the story of Baywatch.
And then where does I know my Instagram name is plug Stormcloud415.
All right, dude.
They
It's
called
the first
him
10 minutes
the
of the
Storm
show.
Cloud.
Yeah.
He was the original
The
Stormcloud.
I've
Okay.
heard it. I don't know if podcast
I don't know
has
if
heard it.
my
you don't-
story
you-
is correct.
It's
though.
not. So
I don't think my story is correct.
football practice, Sacred Heart Cathedral freshman year. I'm about 5'1", $110, playing wide receiver, playing fifth quarter. I don't even play in the first four quarters. I'm playing garbage time.
The fifth quarter.
He's
Bishop,
playing catch by himself after the game.
Yeah. he made Rudy look like Lawrence Taylor. You know what I mean? Like that's a fact.
It was key. But anyways, so we're in practice, and I'm messing around on the sideline. I'm like not paying attention, and this guy, Coach Lee, I think it was Frank Lee or John Lee. He's our head coach of Sacred Heart. He's trying to get everyone to shut up. Of course, me, I'm out there just running my mouth, being the hyperactive ADHD kid that I am. Won't stop talking. And so, Stornaiuolo, it's a tough name to say. It's a mouthful. No teacher has ever gotten it right. I mean, we're talking phonetics majors in college. Can't even say our last name if we paid them to. So he gets pissed off at me. He says, God damn it, Storm Cloud, get the hell on the sideline.
I always thought it was because you cried or something like that.
That's the story I've heard. I heard you're a bunch of
What?
crybabies.
I thought it
We
was
got a
because-
conspiracy on our hand.
No. This is
That
what
is
I
not
was
the
told
story.
by Coach Dunn, which was one of our other football coaches. I was told because you got hit in practice and Clouds are always crying and he couldn't pronounce your last name, so he called you Storm Cloud or something.
No.
like that.
He couldn't say
That's
the last
what
name.
I always thought. I don't know.
We'll have to. This is a 50% facts type of situation,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Like,
it.
what is the true
facts.
story?
That's how everything goes here.
Yeah.
Now you understand.
That's
Wow.
how everything goes.
I just got. That just hit me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
really how it is. And majority of it starts with me hearing something kind of, but not really remembering. My brain works pretty fast too, whether you want to call it ADHD, I call it my superpowers.
Yeah.
And things are kind of rattling, So I pick up everything, but I just only hold on to about 50% of it.
But you got a nickname too, right? I mean, Silent Mike
Yeah.
is a nickname.
That's
I
lifting.
mean,
That's lifting.
yeah.
That's like post life. That was kind of like our
It's gaming too, though.
I branded, we'll talk about
Yeah.
social media, and so I kept it. But growing up, I never really had one. My school was small, maybe.
Yeah.
They would call you, probably your guys' school was pretty small too. They call you if there's another Dan, you'd be Dan S.
Yeah.
That's what people say.
Stale
Dan
bologna.
S. or-
I got stale bologna
Stale
was
bologna.
mine. Yep.
Yeah.
Swear. I mean,
Stale
Mine was
bologna.
Danimal. I had
That's
Danimal.
really
Animal,
good.
I don't know. dude.
animal.
I feel like you're making it up now.
Yeah.
Matt
Big
Summers,
sausage,
maybe-
some of them
Matt
called me
Summers
too.
Gavin called me Danimal.
Maybe he did.
He did.
Isn't
I don't
Danimal
remember.
like the stupid?
Tiny.
Yeah,
Kid
the stupid
yogurt?
Kid yogurt.
That's
yeah.
like when Dan drinks a beer, it looks like a Danimal.
It does. It
Your
does.
hands actually aren't that big. I don't want to break your
Mine?
ego compared
Yeah.
to
Just
you.
because you have small hands.
No, I have very average
I
hands.
have small hands too. In fact, if you can see the camera, my finger to palm ratio is
Yeah, I got a kind of a
borderline
big
medical
palm.
condition.
Yeah, I have a big.
pretty.
big
No, your
palm,
hand.
too.
You're a large human, and your hand isn't that big.
So my hands compared to my body size.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk
Hey,
about.
you
your
know who
body.
else had small hands was Jake LaMotta. You remember
Oh, that's
Raging
right.
Bull?
That's
He's,
right.
And
he's sitting
also
there. He's like, you know
Trump
what?
and the guy in the Burger King
hands, the
commercial,
hands.
but
Oh,
true.
Trump, man. Poor guy.
Oh God.
Yeah.
the
Let's
Burger
not
King
get
guy
st-
too.
Let's not get
The Burger King guy.
Oh, that's right, huh?
Yeah.
He did have small hands.
So we're gonna skip the topic and we'll get there later. But Dom and I get compared a lot in our looks, and I wanted to know what celebrity do you get? Because you know how there's spectrums,
Yeah.
right? Like you could say a Corvette kind of looks like I'm making this up, but a Corvette kind of looks like a Ferrari. A Ferrari kind of looks like a Lambo, but a Corvette doesn't look like a Lambo.
So you're
right?
saying you're a Ferrari, is what you
No,
said?
I'm the Lambo. He might be the American, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But beside the point, I'm wondering if we get the same celebrities too.
Well, let me see. So
What do you need, a profile?
Okay.
No, I'm wondering what celebrities you get.
No, I know, but I was kind of wondering if we did a thing because you probably get some celebrities too, right?
Yeah, way too many.
And
It's like
and I
5
wonder if
yeah.
we get one that maybe if we did a 1, 2, 3,
oh.
and we did
Oh,
last
probably.
name, and we did last name.
Yeah, probably.
So I'll get one that I get kind of frequently that I'm not like crazy about. Then I'll get into some of the ones that I'm okay
All
with.
mine are pretty decent.
Okay.
Like I'm not really mad about it.
But do you want to do your number one, and I'll do my number one, and we'll see if we land
the
on
same
it at the
time.
same
But
time.
after you just explained it, now I know my number one's probably not yours.
So like a
'Cause I think you'd be
stepbrothers
stoked
moment.
on my number one.
You don't know, but you don't know.
No, I do.
So we
right.
run the 1, 2, 3 last name. Are we going last name?
Last name.
Okay, ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3. Stallone.
De Niro.
Wow.
I get a young De Niro a lot.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
I get a Stallone sometimes. Yeah, I get it like a. Well,
No,
I used to get a
Adrian.
young Stallone, but I'm older.
Well,
now,
you
so-
know,
You get a
Adrian.
middle-aged Stallone.
I do
now.
get a little De Niro though. De Niro, I
Yeah.
get the De Niro.
I see Demolition Man Stallone in you.
Yeah. It get a
Young
little
De Niro, you look like.
That's what I get. That's what
Yeah.
Omar, my
Yeah.
buddy, who does a lot of internet content.
Having been in the room with Stallone, I can tell you are so much taller than he is.
Yeah, I don't see Stallone.
More than a head taller than
It,
Stallone.
it's kind of varies, you know what I mean? Like I get it's just like, but I do get Stallone.
And you're not stoked on it.
I'm not like crazy on it. I
Uh,
mean, but
Stallone's
Stallone's
kind of a
awesome,
weird
guy.
dude.
I'm not stoked on the De Niro. I like him as like an actor, but not everyone's like, wow, De Niro's so pretty.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but people love De
people
Niro.
say I look like
Do you have
Legolas
a
or
good?
something.
Do you have a good De Niro?
No,
You
not
can't
like
do
this.
the
I can't
facial
do any of
gestures?
that. No, I can't do any
He
of
does
that.
the
It's
facial.
like a broken face.
Yeah,
Give it
He
to
does
him.
the-
What camera are we on? Camera 2. Camera 2.
You got to get heavy nose breathing. I don't know. You know, I heard things. No. Excuse me. You're saying I look like Stallone? I don't think so. Look, I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, all right, that's fine. We'll agree to disagree. That's fine. Okay. Yeah.
You might
Have a
know
good
who
day.
we are, but we know who you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, it is mostly mannerisms.
So the impression, the voice is pretty good.
Yeah.
But
It's
in
the
profile,
face.
I'm getting Peter Falk at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
what's
Columbo.
the
Yeah.
best one you've gotten then?
I've gotten like a very generous Bradley Cooper once.
Oh,
which
no,
was,
I see
you
a
have
coupe.
longer
hair.
I see a coupe.
was
Yeah.
very generous.
Yeah.
Same
which,
nose.
You know, I'm like, yeah, of course.
See,
yeah,
that
yeah.
goes to my analogy. I've never even got close to a coupe. The best I've got is a McDreamy, and I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that all
I
day.
see you as like a
Oh,
Anakin
shit.
Skywalker.
I
man.
like that as well. Not for his looks, but more
I
like
knew he'd get so
yeah,
fired up.
yeah, that's
about
good.
that.
Yeah.
Little angsty, you know, the chosen one, really.
Yeah.
Who do I get,
I
man?
don't know,
I
Mike.
don't know. It's
I don't
pretty.
He's tall.
Big
we used, to,
Bird.
we used to give him George Mirasan, which is extremely unflattering.
I've gotten Mirasan
For those that
before.
don't
A lot of
remember,
people probably don't know.
played for the Washington
Yeah.
Bullets.
Yeah, you gotta
Google him.
Google
Don't Google him.
Yeah.
7'6".
Save the
Mike,
search.
Mike doesn't look like George Mirasan. He's just very tall.
He
you
plays
know?
like
yeah,
it, which
yeah.
is even more embarrassing.
I do. No. Hey, he was in the NBA, so
Yeah, I would be
Yeah.
too if I was 7'6".
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No,
Mirasan is one that I've gotten. I think. I don't know. I don't know who I look like.
I'm kind of
You
upset.
you
I got
that
Zlatan
unique-
Ibrahimovic.
You got that unique look. man.
Ibrahimovic a little bit.
Same kind of funky nose, double bridge. You
Yeah.
know.
I'm a little upset with some of the ones that I've gotten.
Chris Farley?
Unfortunately, Chris Farley, no, never gotten Chris Farley.
John Candy.
I've
John Candy.
John Candy.
Who did I call you?
You called
Fred
me-
Flintstone
you called me
had a
Fred
baby
Flintstone.
with.
Flintstone is
DJ
good.
Khaled or something like that. I think
Yeah.
you said something like that.
I like Flintstone a lot.
I
that
do.
sounds
I
good.
do get DJ Khaled quite a bit because DJ Khaled does the whole like beard lineup and squared off.
I don't
like,
think
facial.
it's just the beard is the thing here, Daniel.
No.
What are we looking at here too?
I didn't look at anything.
Are you looking at my stomach too?
It was
Is that what I
not,
saw you
but there's a
looking at?
lot of guys with shaped beards that don't get called DJ.
I
Khaled.
get DJ Khaled. I get Fred Flintstone.
that was the best.
And then
John Candy ain't bad.
yeah, John Can. And then I also get Joe Staley from the nine. I don't know if you know who
Ooh.
he looks like.
Oh, yeah, a little
one?
bit.
He looks a lot like me, but he's got a little bigger of a schnoz.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's who I've gotten.
What do you get?
I don't get much. I don't know because everybody thinks they know me
Yeah.
from somewhere. I
You're
look
the
like
guy that everyone knows. Do you look
I
familiar?
look like everybody.
Yeah.
and nobody at the same time. That's the
Yeah.
thing. A little bit of the Mythbusters, like if they had a kid together,
Oh,
little,
yeah.
close like
Oh,
that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's your
because I
son's
don't really look
laughing
like
over
one or
there.
the. Yeah, he's the one who says it, so that's probably
I'll see
why.
him
He
in
Yeah.
does,
Busters,
what's his
yeah.
name again? I know you're talking about.
Didn't something just happen
With who?
within the year with those guys?
Mythbusters?
know.
Who knows? They might have got canceled for
I think
proving
something weird happened.
the world is round.
It's flat.
That's the world.
No, they've
where
been-
we live in now.
They haven't. Yeah, they haven't been producing that
Oh,
show
really?
for
No,
years.
they do
5,
like
6 years.
YouTube or Twitch or something happened. I swear. I
Our
forgot
dad
what.
was on Dirty Jobs.
Was he?
Yep.
Gino was on Dirty
you
Jobs.
never told me that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a long. I never saw it.
I did.
I never
saw it. Yeah, he killed it.
He did?
Yeah, he definitely killed it.
So I wish
I'm surprised he didn't get a feature after that.
Featured in one of the mafia
You
movies.
think anyone's ever
Dirty
landed
Chino?
from Dirty Jobs? Like, hey, I was on Dirty Jobs, and next thing you know, I was in a Scorsese movie. I was in the, you know,
That's
like,
the come up story.
Dude, that would be. Yeah.
First of all, what was the feature? Like, it was like a sanitation.
No, so they go to the
It was
dump.
Dirty Jobs.
They go to the.
No, I know. I'm saying, what was the? Because Dirty
So-
Jobs always has like a topic of what the dirty job is.
They go to the San Francisco dump.
Yeah.
and-
Garbage.
Yeah, and
That
they
one
throw-
was a sanitation garbage.
Yeah, it was a garbage
Garbage
episode.
Man. It's a
Yeah.
dirty job.
Yeah, it's no joke.
And what? G was just on there. Like,
Yeah, he's there, you know, doing his. I mean, Dan does a better Gino impersonation, but, you know, he's there. He's like, yeah, you know, they put this stuff here, and then, you know, this thing, crush it, and, you know, he's like, he killed it. That was kind of a more Italian than Gino does, but he killed, I mean, I wish we could pull it up, but he.
Yeah, no, I wish
It's
we
probably
could.
on YouTube
I've
somewhere.
never. No, I've searched everywhere.
Really?
I
Yeah, I
have
have
searched
too.
everywhere. I have not been able
Amazon,
to
I bet
find
you
it.
Amazon Prime. They
You
got
probably
all
have
those
to buy
old
the
weird
whole
shows.
season.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. But Amazon Prime or Amazon TV has a bunch of old weird shows like
I've
that.
looked on YouTube. I've typed in on Google like Dirty Jobs San Francisco and then his company name.
This sounds like the conspiracy then.
I,
Maybe
like,
he
haven't-
wasn't on there. Maybe he's just
50
trying to impress you guys.
Another
Maybe
50%
he
fact,
wasn't on
dude.
there.
He might not have been on there. Hey, now that I think about it, I don't even remember him on there.
No, he was on there.
it's a memory.
No, he was on there, 100%. Don't
You know what, one of the
disrespect him.
coolest things about my dad was growing up was he always used to he always used to bring us home stuff that people would like throw away that was like brand new. So like he'd come home and be like, "Hey, Danny, I got you a brand new skateboard." And
But he took grips that you're supposed to put on a stairwell to stop you from slipping.
Yeah.
And put it on the skateboard
Yeah.
as grip tape.
So I don't want to throw your dad under the bus, but what if that was the Italian side of your dad and that fell off the truck and it wasn't from work?
This is a
Yeah, that's
possibility.
That's
true.
where my head goes.
Well,
my
he-
family's Italian. I have some stories of
Well, you
business deals that we do.
He was also a whiz with the Viacom box.
Oh,
And if you
Viacom.
remember, the Viacom box was a very prominent part
That's
for
right,
the
it
older people in the room.
was.
And he had the Viacom box, you know. There was only like 20 channels anyways, but
I'll never forget that. That's right. The little brown and
yeah.
black
Yeah, we
box.
had every
the
Tyson
Viacom
fight,
box.
dude.
Oh my
Everything.
gosh. That was,
Oh, Danny just
Yeah.
blacked out.
no, I just like I just vividly remember that.
We've hit something very emotional for Dan.
yeah.
No, I
childhood
just
memories.
never forget that. Like it just popped up in my brain. I never forget that. That's crazy.
All right, man.
Yeah. It's
You
okay.
want to talk about it?
Hang
Here
in
comes
there.
the
We're
storm.
here.
Here comes the storm.
Comes the storm.
No,
Everybody grab your
when Danny
umbrellas.
was watching television, no one else got to watch television.
Yeah.
It was what he was watching.
Crazy
You're
how far
spoiled,
we've
huh?
come. We've come from the Viacom box.
Yeah. Now you got
mean,
the unlocked fire stick.
I don't pay for
Yeah.
cable anymore.
No.
I mean, crazy.
How far it's developed. Like I look into. Obviously, I still work at AT&T, and like Mike's dad worked at AT&T also, so he knows about AT&T a lot. And like I've been looking a lot on like where DirecTV is now, and they've lost like $1 billion. They purchased
they
it.
spun it off.
They
man.
purchased it 7 years ago for like something crazy, like $6 or $7 billion, like something crazy. And now they're losing like per quarter. I was looking at the stats, probably 2 to 3 million customers per quarter.
So in the mid 2000s, it was only Comcast cable and then DirecTV satellite.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah.
I'll
Everyone
never
had one
pay
of the
for
two.
cable.
Still
ever.
waiting on my Visa card from you.
I got him to
Rebate.
sign up with AT&T TV.
The worst internet. Don has the worst internet.
He basically conned me.
Yeah.
My brother works at AT&T and conned me into the AT&T package,
Yeah.
which goes up.
Right.
And I was supposed to get like a big Visa card rebate, which I didn't get. So my
Probably
brother
sent it to
just
himself.
He did.
you don't have
Probably
a
did.
yeah you do I do not have a hookup at AT&T.
Yeah,
you
I don't
know?
blame you.
But he did help me with some of the waiting.
It's a
and stuff.
10-year
That is
contract.
interesting, and that can segue us where we're going here. We have two slimy salesman brothers, is what I would see just by looking at it,
Wow.
Yeah.
and one fitness life-saving brother.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So, with athletes, did you play college sports too, or you move on without them?
No.
So
my
the
He
career
broke his
ended.
back.
The
Yeah.
two college athletes turned into salesman slime balls,
Right.
and then you know the 2.3 GPA turned into a very successful fireman.
Yeah.
And I want to dig into the topics of fitness and maybe your guys' perspective on it, and we can maybe start, and we can dig into your own fitness and your goals and your journey, but with your brother, which is an interesting thing because we're so stuck in this, especially Jim beyond me, but 12 years of just meathead shit. And you get so in your own world, what is normal to us, what we talk about, is just it's just the norm, right?
Right.
But from the outside perspective, you guys are fit, you've been athletes, you lift weights,
Yeah.
but you're not in this. We're in this deep Alice in Wonderland shit. We're down here with the caterpillar, you know, smoking hookah, doing deadlifts.
Yeah.
Where you guys are, you know, just creeping on the hole.
Yeah. We're walking by, poking our head in, but we're not there.
Yeah, the Cheshire Cat's saying what's up, but you can't even see him. It's just a smile.
Yeah.
That went someplace I was not expecting at all.
Well, caterpillars, hookahs.
Yeah.
That caterpillar is really interesting. I
love it.
don't want to go into conspiracies of Disney and what they're talking about and some of their shit, but that's a little weird one, you know. And I know it's a book before Disney.
Yeah.
Don't before you roast me.
I just got very literary all of a sudden. I did not see it coming.
So, what's your thoughts when you see your brother start crushing fucking weights? When I know you bench press pretty big weight. Dan told me he brags about you guys both all the time. You played college basketball, which is no small feat.
Right.
You obviously lifted weights. You've hung out with freaks. Even on your podcast, you guys are interviewing freak athletes.
Right.
Yeah.
But what your brother does is strong little kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I saw. I see little 21-year-old Dano, DJ Khaled Jr. come in the gym, just start crushing weights. I'm like, right away. And at that point, maybe squat a 550 or whatever. I was like, this kid's an athlete. This kid is really, really strong. Have you learned anything about powerlifting? What are your thoughts on how Psycho, what it is we do?
You want to start as the oldest?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that courtesy.
Sure, man.
Yeah. Very, very, he's very just, courteous right now.
Bending the knee.
Yeah.
You did.
So I think looking back at Dan, Dan always was a bigger, stronger dude. That was, always Dan's MO, and very athletic. When he started getting into the powerlifting, the weight just kept going up. And then I think, I'm trying to remember when it kind of was like, I think I came home one time and usually I pushed Dan around. The brothers always have a size up.
Yeah.
Sure.
The brothers come back, it's the size up.
Yeah.
And the size up is like where you haven't seen each other for a little bit. You're kind of shut. You're like, hey, can I still kick his ass and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And I think Dan lifted me and kind of just pressed me, was like against the wall. Like he's still a little reserved. He still has the fear of the older brother, which is a psychological dominance
he nipped
that starts
at you.
young.
He nipped, but he didn't want to fight yet.
But you could tell you're like, dude, this guy's might break my arm, dude. You know what I mean? And so, and just watching him do, go up in weights, and then finally, when he hit, what was it, 845?
I hit 805.
805. Okay.
2,000
So
pounds.
yeah, sorry, I'm off. I'm off by a VCR or you know what I mean? Sorry, dude.
The Viacom machine on your
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Even that alone, right? Like to Dan, he's like, well, I don't want to say I squat 840 because I know freaks at 840. But to the non-power lifter, you're like 800, 840. That's a fuck ton either way.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
But like
something that I'm not getting with a floor jack off the ground. You know what I mean?
It's a car.
Yeah, seeing him.
It's a fucking motorcycle.
That's a small Toyota that you can find in
Once upon a
Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
In the street.
No, seeing that, and in the profession of a firefighter, there's a lot of fitness folks that are really into it. So showing them Dan's progression, and then going whoa, dude, this is ridiculous weight. And I even actually, funny enough, we did a charity with Schwarzenegger. And we basically took the firefighters and did a portion of the strongman competition.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And we helped organize this through our charity relief fund. And I had volunteers, and I'm on the phone with them before, hey, they're like, can you get 6 firefighters to compete in this? I'm like, yeah, no problem. I was like, and he's like, you sure? And I was like, dude, if we can't get the 6, I'll go out there. Don't worry. You know? Day before, they're like, hey, we got 5. I'm like, dude, seriously, you're going to call me on what I said? He said, you said you go out, we need you. I'm like, dude, this is not real. So I called Dan. I'm like, dude, please help me not die on the deadlift. And he's giving me the tips of but I think for me, seeing, how far he came along with the knowledge base of that and just knowing deadlifting and was pretty amazing. So it was very fun to watch.
Because even in firemen, that's and I know you guys do tons of events. There's the football pig, versus the cops, and rugby. What movie is that? Departed. You're all playing each other.
Departed.
Yeah. Pig, not as in cop. Isn't it called the Pig Bowl? I know you're trying to put me on blast on my own podcast. I didn't call the cops pigs. It's called the Pig Bowl, isn't it?
I think
there's
a charity out in
there's
the
something
East
called
Coast.
the Pig.
Pig Bowl.
Yeah.
They actually have it.
Mike's trying to get me over here. He's
they have
trying to
it
get me on my own podcast.
He's an instigator.
I think in Sacramento it's called the Pig Bowl.
It is.
Thank you, Daniel.
Excuse me.
At Sac State, they
everybody
have
out
the
there.
Pig Bowl. At Sac State, yes, they do.
But a big one is firemen and police powerlifting meet. Because we've had a lot of guys that have rolled through our paths through that. Yeah, or watch our stuff for that.
He did, well, never forget this. He did a firefighter police boxing match.
Yeah, you guys do
He did
tons
an
of stuff.
amateur boxing match.
He fought a security guard. He was crazy.
He was a Ventura County sheriff.
To just
to
expand on this, I'll never forget.
An elevator operator.
Just to expand a little bit on that experience with him. I've never seen him train harder a day in his life.
Dude.
We were out at Kezar Stadium, and he was doing tempo runs around. Kezar Stadium is for those who don't know what it is, it's the old San Francisco 49ers stadium from back in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
So Niners used to play there. It's a huge stadium. We played there in high school. They're the only it's the only stadium left that has an underground tunnel that goes from the locker room to the So, like, I think Joe Montana ran through there. A bunch of other people.
Yeah, it's
kind of
cool. Like, very
great
gladiator.
That's what I was about to make a gladiator
Dom
joke.
is out there. I'm just getting to Sacramento State at this point. I was like 18, and I was just getting in. And Dom was like, "Hey, Dan, I need you to help me train for this." And Dom's out there doing tempo runs, just like straight Rocky. About
He's got the gray sweater on.
Gray sweater on, beanie, and he literally had this one thing that his coach always he would. What's the theory of if you say it enough times it'll happen? What's the theory called again?
Manifesting.
Manifesting.
So he had me ask him
secret.
every single day up until his boxing match. Hey Dom, how was the boxing match? He would say, "Oh, I knocked him out in the first round, Dan."
Yeah.
Every single day, 10 times a day for I'm not joking with you, probably like 2-3 months.
I like that shit.
Come down to it, he knocked the guy out in the first round.
It is way different.
It was a third.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
And it was a TKO, a very generous knockout. But
He tripped on his own shoelace, and I just happened to land on my fist.
Was it third round? I thought it was the first round.
I gave him an envelope, and then he fell.
Yes.
They call that a knockout?
I was worried about Dan lifting weights.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
Because of the nickname Stormcloud, he's soft.
No, not because of the nickname. You know, obviously, we've seen a lot of people, Ronnie Coleman, and how they've progressed since they've finished lifting.
A lot of people don't know that, though. Like, even Ronnie himself is a little niche. And then to know where Ronnie sits right now, like, we've seen him in person. I saw him right after surgery.
Can't walk.
It's really sad.
Yeah, and so, I mean, obviously, it's amazing to see Dan do what he did. But, you know, I know that he had his leg injuries in college. And obviously, on my mind, you know, I was thinking to myself, hey, where does this end? You know, where do you feel comfortable with how much you've progressed? And I'm actually not a big weightlifter. I've got the chest of a little boy, to be honest with you. So
does he know the little
strong
boy?
flying bird? Yeah. I would go a little higher.
I'm sorry. I hold my own on the court, but I mean,
We'll see about that eventually.
I was really proud of him, but I also, you know, it's just. Again, it's just you become so obsessed and you become so ingrained with hitting this goal to the point where it's like any other sport. It becomes unhealthy at some point. And I don't think it got to that for him. But at the time, seeing and learning what I knew, it was definitely something that was on my mind.
Yeah, to be good at anything, you obviously have to go to an extreme. And, you know, in fitness and probably even the regular world gurus, everyone talks about balance and this and that. And then the other people are preaching at you like, go hardcore. You're not hardcore. You ain't tough. I'm waking up at 3 o'clock. What the fuck are you doing?
Like Jocko.
Yeah, everyone. Right. Fucking everyone. Yeah. Everyone you turn on Twitter and I get one of two messages. One that I'm a pussy and I need to wake up earlier. And then the other one that I'm insane and I need to calm down and find balance in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No in between.
No, and I don't know what balance means and I definitely don't know how to be more hardcore. Yeah. You know, and the rest of us are just kind of floating. But
that's where social media is
fucks you up.
It does.
It's mixed messaging. And the part that I don't like is I don't mind those people trying to teach or hopefully they have a good intent to actually help people. What I don't mind is people just choosing one of those sides so then they can monetize it on the back end, right? Going back to your slimy salesman, which I was obviously joking about. Both these guys sell products they believe in and good products. I'm a huge fan of both, actually. Right. Someone's supposed to give me one of their products and they haven't yet, but I am a big fan of them. Wow. This was my dad's favorite shoe, all right?
Okay. All right.
But
I'm still on that wait list too, don't worry.
That's fucked up.
I'm on
got a pair.
Yeah, he did give me a pair for my birthday.
2 pair. One got lost.
One
Sacramento
got
stolen on the balcony. Welcome to Sacramento.
Well, that's a likely story.
Welcome to Sacramento, California.
They're great.
What I was going to say, though, is sports, basketball. I played a little bit, whatever, basketball, football. You can get obsessed with stuff, and there's definitely a mentality where people really dig into that. Powerlifting, I've done it for 12 years. I like it, but it's just part of what I do. Fighting is something that I find so interesting because, like, I don't think I would ever train harder than if I had to fight someone either. It's so different. Oh, I trained real hard in the deadlift, and shucks, I missed 500 pounds. I'm still going home just fine. Yeah. You don't train hard enough in a MMA or jiu-jitsu or boxing. Now you're like, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this not hard work ethic right now.
Yeah.
Well, Dominic's got the most experience when it comes to, like, I mean, you were boxing. That was like a hobby of yours for a good while, right? I mean, still is kind of, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's I'll tell you one thing though, when you're saying that I do see a similarity is, and we talked to Marcus Simeon on the podcast, and when you're deadlifting in a competition, there's different sports. There's basketball, there's football, and sure, Tom Brady just won the Super Bowl and he's kind of on that spotlight, but in football there's a team, right? And
sure,
Mahomes made some passes that hit some guys in the face mask, and there's some outs. Then there's some stuff where it's like, hey, you rise or fail.
Yeah.
And boxing, you rise or fail. There's no one, sure, can you blame the trainer, the promoter? Yeah, but there's only one thing that the people see, and that's you, in the ring.
Yeah.
Baseball, even though it's a team sport, we were talking to Marcus about it, you're up to bat, and it's bottom of the ninth, and that's all they remember.
Well, that's
golf
roommate. Our roommate Kyle was a professional baseball player, pitcher, and we were actually
similar. You're on an island,
literally. We were talking about that, and he was saying, he was like, dude, at some points, like, he's like, you're on an island by yourself. You're responsible for literally the whole game. You alone. Everyone's looking at you, and it's just you on that island. And
I love that, though. Honestly, I live for that, and that's why I don't like powerlifting. Is in those other sports, there's layers and variables, right? Oh my God, I've been working on my jab. My jab ain't working right now. How can I read this?
Yeah.
Baseball, hey, these guys are crushing my curveball. Oh, I'm gonna go to this. I'm gonna strategize. There ain't shit you can do in powerlifting.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm either strong enough today or I'm not strong enough today.
Yeah.
You can
The weight
talk yourself
goes up
out
or
of
it
it.
doesn't.
You can talk yourself out of it, but you can't really talk yourself into it. If I've only pulled 600 pounds, no talking is going to get you to pull 800.
Yeah.
But there's miracles that happen in fighting. There's miracles obviously that happen in basketball and all these. Like there's always kind of a chance.
Yeah.
There's kind of a very limited chance in this sport.
Well, I'll tell you, I
like
like the mental learning about the mental side of the powerlifting. Let's talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that's Dan's warm-up ceremony before squatting.
What do you got,
dude,
Dan?
you have
he did like
maybe a lot of guys do it, but it's like
see, they don't know that
in here. You dig in the shoulder here, then he gets that one. He kind of like he bulls it a little, like squares away, gets in there, and like he has a very unique.
But that's just like everything. though. Everything such as golf, basketball, football, whatever takes a
little wiggle.
You have to get yourself in that zone because, like, I mean, Jim also powerlifted for what?
A long time when I was old. I started when I was old. That was not a good call.
600-700 pound lifter. Like, you ended up squatting what, close to 700 pounds?
650.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it takes you have to put yourself in this place to essentially not get fucking crushed.
Yeah,
like
that is a little.
You
different.
have to remember, like,
there's some high stakes.
You're putting
a pyramid on your back.
You're putting a car on your back,
Yeah.
and you need to literally every part of your body focus that. Like I would always like preemptively, like before I met Mike, like I'd always go up and imagine myself like, fuck man, like I'm not gonna hit this, no chance, and like
I knocked him out in the first round.
Dan.
Dan, come on, dude.
And like Mike really, like when he took me under his wing, really started to like change my mindset and the fact that like, no, dude, I'm gonna get this and it's gonna happen. Like I'm not gonna go up there, I'm not gonna fail. And I like probably never. I don't think I've ever missed until I met him. I don't think I've ever missed a training, like squat or bench. Yes, deadlift. Yes, but like squat was my like I would
Always.
get in the zone, and like I just like I don't know. Like I checked in, and when I checked in, I was fucking just zoned.
And people don't know what their own warm-up looks like.
Yeah, you have to develop a
you
habit.
zone out.
Yeah.
It's like with your golf swing. You have to go up and do the same thing every single time so that you consistently get the same result. Your free throw, you go up to the free throw line. It's 3 dribbles, the same form, the same thoughts.
Yeah.
So
That's why I'm so bad at free throws. I never had a routine.
You gotta build
And
it.
I'm
Routine
so
is
bad
huge.
at free throws. It's atrocious.
Yeah.
Not that it matters.
Were you were a point guard, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see Mike as a scrappy point guard.
pretty scrappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were
Yeah,
you
maybe.
were you a,
Maybe.
a,
I don't know.
a passer? Probably kind of like a banger a little bit.
Yeah,
Hard screens.
I was
passes.
just big. So like you automatically become a scrapper. I was this size in 8th grade. I was like 5'9", $170 in 8th grade.
I see a lot of knee out screens. coming
No,
from
I'm
you.
not the cheap guy. I'm too quick for that. I'm too quick. I'm too quick. I'm too athletic. Mike knows I'm I'm gonna dunk on him one day. It's just when he's ready to stand under there.
Well, I'll stand under there.
Yeah,
right after
Can you
this.
dunk right now?
Probably not right now. I'm like 230 right now.
Yeah.
When I was throwing down a little bit, I was like
about 230.
200.
Did you ever put your mind to it to say I wanted to dunk, and then you know what I mean? Or did
A
you
little
just-
bit. I think everyone wants to dunk. Like
Yeah.
when you play basketball, like there's no sweeter finish than that. Now it's cool to like shoot half court threes. When I grew up, it was cool to dunk on somebody.
Yeah.
And so like I'm also not gonna lie, like I'm kind of just genetically gifted. I was in like, because everyone says like hard work and I did calf races every night. Fuck you, bitch.
Those people tore their ACL.
Yeah, they're liars. They're liars. Like 8th grade, I was hanging on the rim.
Wow.
And I got stubby little arms.
Yeah.
I'm maybe 5'9". So I kind of and I got strength and conditioning coach, and I took it all pretty serious. And so yeah, and I'm joking. I'll probably dunk on Mike because he makes me so mad. But it's not like I was dunking on people in games.
Yeah.
Like I threw some down.
He's delusional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I threw some down. It's not. I wasn't Steve Francis.
Did your hops go up when you started power cleaning more?
A little bit. So yeah, I started. They transitioned almost perfectly from lifting to playing. I was going to go
because of the hip flexors, right? I mean, when
just
you,
stronger everything. You get
Yeah.
stronger back. You get stronger quads. You get stronger glutes.
Lift
You're going
off
to
the
jump a little bit
ground.
higher as long as you're practicing your jumping. The issue becomes when you switch it. Like all I do is squat now, and so you have the power, but you don't have like the force production, the speed, and the skill to jump.
Yeah.
Jumping, although semi-primal, it's still a skill you have to practice.
Yeah.
And so yeah, right now it's probably trash. But if you do a perfect mesh of them both, and that's why like a lot of our past guests and our really good buddies who work with NBA guys, or baseball's the same, football's the same. You get those guys stronger. They're just going to be more durable long term, but they'll probably be a little bit better because a lot of basketball players in particular are really springy, but they're not very strong. And so it's all a spectrum. How springy are you, and then how strong are you, to put it, in kind of layman's terms. And
They
how
got
do you
that long strand fibered muscle,
Yeah,
very
they-
elongated.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I
they're
was going
running
to
hills.
expand on the fact.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to expand on the fact that like what Mike was saying, that like some people just are like. I mean, I knew people like in football that literally like doesn't matter what time of the day it was, doesn't matter how short or long they practiced, they just were a freak.
Yeah.
Like the one kid, I'm not going to name names, but one kid that was on the team, like, I mean, he would just come, he was the type of kid just lazy, didn't really do his, didn't really practice that hard. But when it came to fucking game time,
Days on.
just switch and was just absolutely incredible.
I've said
and
it
like
for a long time.
I think it goes with any sport though, any hand in hand. There's people that spend 10 hours in the gym every day, every week, and just unfortunately they
got a
genetically can't, like,
I'm one of those people.
Yeah,
well, no, I mean it's everything though. It's golf, it's
Yeah.
boxing, it's basketball.
I've said it from the beginning. People, I said on Twitter years ago and started a little forest fire, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
But I said that hard work doesn't outdo genetics and talent. Everyone says hard work over talent. It's just not true. It's literally not true. Now, if you want to be Michael Jordan, you probably have to have a mix of both. I'm not saying you can't. But I know firsthand, and I'm not going to name names either, professional athletes that are all-star level. All-star level. They don't even work out. They don't do nothing. They don't work on their game.
I will say to that theory, I mean, I was catching Tom Brady's combine photo. And I got to tell you, I don't know if genetics that may be an exception.
This is
he's
true. There are some
mentally-
But
exceptions.
the truth is like he probably worked insanely hard, but he
Yeah.
has something between the ears, right? And even his arm. I got an argument in this on the internet. People argue me,
On the
dude. All these
internet.
dumb little
Facebook?
shitheads. I was live on Twitch. which is
Timmy's
even
and
worse.
Jimmy's, is that what Nick Merckx
Just-
refers to them
yeah,
as?
dude, I call them Timmy's too. Yeah, a bunch of little Timmy's in my chat talking about like Tom Brady doesn't have a good arm. Like he doesn't throw like Mahomes. Like fuck you, Tom Brady doesn't have a good arm. Like can he throw 60 as accurate as Cam Newton? Who knows, and who cares how many 60-yarders you're throwing downfield? That dude's got a freaking arm. And maybe he trained for it for sure. But genetics, why they rule all is genetics is your ceiling.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean, and you may not know. You may be a better squatter than Dan.
I think discipline is more important, dude.
Really? I disagree. Yeah, I disagree.
know?
But I honestly, so to my analogy, you could be a better squatter than Dan, but because you haven't even touched or looked at your ceiling, you have no idea.
True.
You know what I mean? And that's what genetics are. That's what talent
I'm
actually
sure I
is.
got good genetics. I mean, look at these two dudes. They're
Studs.
both, like,
Surrounded
freaking-
by studs in here. But you
Surrounded
know what
by
I mean? You
studs.
just, or say you weren't related.
Yeah.
Or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
you might, or Jim might have been the best football player out of any of us, but because he didn't play football in high school, maybe he doesn't know.
Right.
If you don't expose yourself.
Probably not, but I feel you.
Anything can happen in this world.
Anything's
right?
possible.
Yeah.
And that's where the genetics come in.
I think
Well,
part of it is just being a game day person too.
Yeah,
and,
for everything.
whatever that takes for you. Because some people, it's the preparation that gets them there that
Sure.
allows them to activate that. Okay, I can do it today.
Yeah.
Because seen a million game day lifters, people who were like kind of shitty in the gym, and then they and then exactly the opposite. Guys who were great in the gym and they fail every meet they do.
Or vice versa. Like I see tons of people that on game day take a shit. Yeah. Like I mean,
literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like I mean, people that have fantastic
pee more often, but
fantastic training sessions, fantastic sparring sessions, whatever, practice, basketball. They're crazy, and then just game day, they can't perform.
Yeah, we had a really good episode with a sports psych who played football at Notre Dame, ended up getting his PhD, et cetera, and he kind of talks about that and how you can train it or how some of it is in you or not. In those instances, though, is if you get both, then you probably have the chance to be great, right? Yeah. Like the rumors or stories of Michael Jordan and Kobe going hard in practice, and then obviously they're shitting on you in a game too.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Discipline is key, though.
Talking about untapped things, it's Dan was a very accomplished artist when he was young, and
finger paint.
Yeah, we always talked about how Dan, he's this huge power lifter, but he might have been like
Van Gogh.
Picasso.
Yeah,
wow.
He's also a very talented chef.
He's
So
very
I would like
good.
to see Dan in down the road. I think if he gets back to painting and maybe baking.
You know what's crazy about his cooking is he totes that he's this great cook. He's lived with me like 3-4 months now. He's cooked once.
First of all, I've cooked for you guys.
I'm really good at driving race cars too, bitch. But I ain't got no race car, so who cares?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it goes hand in hand with everything. Like you went to like an art school
dude?
when you were growing up. You
Yeah,
know what I
my
mean?
whole life.
Like
Yep.
your whole life. Like
And I suck at art.
But we talked about like I was into acting growing up, and so was him. And Mike didn't really get into acting, but I was really heavy in acting.
My whole life's just
I was
a stage.
I was skateboarding.
Tried to act like a normal person my whole life.
So
and
Mike,
I've done a good job.
Just trying to fit in.
Mike became like literally one of like I used to go to the park with Mike literally almost every day. He became a sponsored skateboarder. He was absolutely incredible.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
Was incredible.
How are you a skateboarder with no hops? That's also what Dan told me. He said you were incredibly talented and a very good basketball player,
Discipline.
but
That's how
zero
he stays
hops.
grounded. You don't want to have too much hops as a skateboarder.
He only grinds.
Because if you
just
ollie
no
too
slides.
high, you won't stick to landing.
Yeah.
You're too far out of space.
So like I used to when I was probably like 7-8 years old, Mike would always skate at this place called Pier 7 and what was the 3rd and Army? Too?
3rd and Army.
So we'd go to like Washington High School or 3rd and Army or Pier 7, and here's little old Mike. They called him Gummo.
Gummo.
Why'd they call you
Donkey Boy, Gummo? I had a bunch of
Donkey Boy?
Yeah.
But he was skating with guys
when I was a
all that were
little
like.
I can tell you why Gummo.
But no. But
I
he
looked
was.
like Gummo as a little kid.
What the hell's
Not
Gummo?
many people know
Buck
Gummo.
teeth.
No.
Gummo was a documentary on a very
It's not a
impoverished.
documentary, it's a
Yes, it
movie.
was. Yes. Okay, it's a
It's a
documentary movie.
No, it's like there was.
It's not a. It's a documentary.
It's not a
Film.
documentary. Okay.
Whatever.
What's Tropic Thunder documentary, right?
Yeah. It's a documentary within a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
all right.
No, Gummo was this. The cover of the box had a kid with buck teeth
Slick
that
back
looked
hair.
just like Mike.
Yeah.
So yeah.
As a
So
little
So,
kid.
but to go
You ever
into
heard
that
of Gummo?
story though,
No,
I
I
can
have
pull
not
up
heard
a
of that.
picture.
Mike,
Very obscure.
I would be at Pier 7 and US and 3rd and Army with Mike. He'd be skating with these 25, 35-year-old professional skateboarders, and here's Mike doing the same exact thing as these.
Yeah.
He's like 13, and like
Even though I look nothing like this.
Oh no, the exact same. Yeah,
yes,
now I
you-
get it.
As a kid, you did 100%.
That's you, dude.
That was you as
Get
a
it
kid.
now.
Yeah.
But here's Mike, 13 years old, like kick flipping a 10 stair, like
Oh my!
like
Seven.
eight,
I
whatever,
kickflipped a
7
seven.
to 8 stair, whatever.
He
few
told
more
me one time. He said, "Come to the park. I want to show you something." And I hadn't seen him skate. And like, I walked to the park, and there's like a 10 stair, and Mike's like, "Just stay right there." And he disappears, and I see the board coming towards me, and I was like, "Oh, my brother's gone." I was like this. I was like, "Hey, I got to figure out like how am I going to tell my mom." Mike comes, launch it. I'm like, that's it. I almost wanted like I want to scream like, don't do it.
But
you
you,
know what I mean?
Catch his ass.
also want to let it happen.
I also
as
want to
well.
let it happen.
For
You
the,
know what I mean?
For the
Yeah,
fall,
yeah. I want
for
to
the
see
cry.
her. And so he launches this thing and sticks it, and I'm just like, what have you been doing up here, dude? He's like, oh, I've been skating, man. And you're just like,
he was a freak skateboarder.
What I saw you skating on your Instagram as well. You want
I've
to
been
plug
doing
your
it a little bit
Instagram?
lately.
Yeah, just plug your Instagram, dude, so
big,
they can see you skate.
Big Mike 415. Yeah.
So
No.
that's a fine line too, going back to like maybe your job as a fireman or skating that you were at a high level when you're a kid and now you're just kind of playing around. Like powerlifting to get where Dan is and even where some of us got, and I haven't gotten very far. I've done it for 12 years and I still suck.
Give yourself a little credit.
It's just true. I really haven't. but it goes beyond a hobby. Like I stopped drinking, and I love beer and wine. Not like I'm some alcoholic. I just love the taste of them. I literally just didn't drink, and I didn't go out for 6 years because this powerlifting thing was so important, and we trained on Saturday mornings. Yeah. That's just how it went. Right? Where like skateboarding culture is obviously a little bit different. Cultures play a role in all these things. Work culture is a little bit different. But I guess that's where the biggest thing is. Where does fitness kind of play a role in what you do now? Like you think about like, oh, I'm just going to go skate like shits and gigs. It's a sunny day. Or, I'm going to go for a quick jog. The boys are going for a jog. We're just going to, because I know I'm going to.
It's mental health for me.
Yeah. Is it just fun? Is it pure fun? Do you think about your heart? I mean, we're all young-ish. We joke about being old, but you're young-ish. It's not like we're worried about a heart attack tomorrow.
I skateboard and I train so that I can be in a better state of mind. I understand that doing those types of things help me to be a happier person, and it helps me to, feel better about myself. And, skateboarding was something that I picked back up after COVID because I went from playing open gym every day with a bunch of guys to now I can't play open gym anymore. So I don't have this outlet that I used to have where I go and compete hard against other basketball players. And so now I'm out on a skateboard 3-4 times a week. Yeah. And I'm, hitting the pavement hard and pushing myself to get back up and land the trick. And you land those tricks, man, and you just feel good. Yeah. Yeah. Or you hit that lift and you hit, 10,000-pound back squat and you're feeling real good about yourself.
Well, what about the pickup basketball stuff? Was that after playing college sports in high school, I'm sure your whole life, and AAU circuit and all this stuff, like, does your mind switch now? Can you just go in there and be like, I'm just going to jog a bit and I'm going to sit in the corner and let some rip, or are you after it? Because a lot of open gyms, you get a mix. You get the real old-timers that kind of are okay, but they never made it, and they're just jacking shots. They don't give a shit, and they're literally just going to sweat.
Just to run. Yeah.
But you get some dudes that just can't turn it off.
So I went to open. So for the last 4 or 5 years, I was invited to like an exclusive open gym
I've been waiting for
in Oakland, called Jamtown. Now it's called Soldier Town, and you were either playing overseas or playing in the prime or playing somewhere, and
so it's not actually an open gym.
No,
it's a run.
Yeah, but even still, there was guys who were in their 40s, 50s, and they were playing, and everybody went hard because as a ball player and as an athlete, you know this. You don't go lift and take it easy because that's how you get injured. When you go out there and you just are kind of messing around. Oh shit! I just tweaked my back, or I just tweaked my ankle because I went for a layup and I didn't go 100%. I tried to go 50%. And so even when I go to just regular open gyms and I mess around, ask Dom. I'm a head case out there sometimes because you play to the talent of the people you're playing with. So when you're hooping with a bunch of people who aren't good or playing soccer, and you start playing shitty and making bad passes, I blame myself for it, unfortunately, and that's just who I am. But for me, it's 100%. Or
so
nothing.
you think athletes always have whatever sport it might be? Do you think that mentality is always?
I think it depends on the person. Because basketball, I'm like that, and that's why I had to stop. I was playing some similar leagues.
You're fighting with people.
You call it semi-pro or AAA, whatever. You get dudes from overseas and dudes that ripped an ACL in the league and now they're here. Well, you just can't go soft. You're going to get shit on and you won't get invited again, or you're never going to get picked up.
Right.
And then two, I love basketball, and so I can't not go at you.
Yeah. Right.
I'm proving myself against the dude that's guarding me. I'm proving everybody who's waiting in line.
Same thing.
I just can't not do it. Where I've never had that for lifting per se. I've never had a hobby that I just lifting is just part of what I do too, because I lifted since 8th grade. Yeah, it's literally my job now, and so it's a little different too. I've never went for a jog. I never had a skateboarding. I've never had this outlet. I don't exercise for fun. Maybe bicycling a little bit. I'll go for a cycle because I love my city and it's kind of nice. I'll go for a little ride. Maybe that's my gig. But you don't either. When you're lifting in here, you're kind of lifting in here. Yeah. And then otherwise, we don't really do much. Gaming, I guess.
I can't game for fun. I'm
gaming for fun. I can shit around.
Cussing up on people.
I'm nice at it. Don't get me wrong. I'm real nice at it. But that one I can kind of scoff off.
I can show you a graveyard of controllers that will tell you that
Mike
FIFA?
Can't
game for
dude,
fun.
Oh my God.
With tombstones.
It doesn't sound like you're competitive. It sounds like you got storm cloud issues.
Right.
Yeah, that's way different.
I've broken multiple controllers.
Not only controllers, but when we were younger, screens. We had to literally so me and him used to share time on the computer, and we would have fist fights for who gets the time with the video game.
I always lost, by the way.
And we would literally throw controllers at each other. Mike would literally he'd be playing Counter-Strike and get killed and would just Baptist screen.
No,
and
no,
we'd
no,
have to
no,
buy.
no,
We'd have
stop.
to, no, I mean, that was like once.
I threw the controller a bunch of times.
Yeah, see, I've never done that.
Yeah. I'm a heated gamer. You know.
What about skateboarding?
Call of Duty.
Is that behind skateboarding, or
No.
is that just
I-
basketball?
Because in
I was gonna say, I
skateboarding,
forget, did you ever like when you would miss a trick? Did you ever like throw?
no.
Because you've seen dudes break boards over
Yeah.
their feet
Yeah.
and shit.
I dude, you
Sometimes
couple
you throw your
yells,
board.
couple
a couple,
yells, you go,
but no,
"Damn it,
I
man."
never got too upset on skateboarding because you fall
hurt
and you hit the
yourself.
pavement so
Yeah.
hard.
That's your pain.
That's like your pain. You like that's like your, you're
That's
getting
your
a-
anger.
right. But it's something that I'm working on. I need to not be so emotional when I'm
I
playing.
maybe saw like 1 or 2 skateboards thrown and like because I used to
Maybe.
go with him like every day. Like I'm actually featured in a
Couple skate videos.
skate
Dan got his
video.
leg run over by a minivan.
You did?
okay. Here's a small story.
He's just got
Well, here
small
comes
stories.
this
Speaking
is,
of
this
cars-
is the
Actually
9
very-
lives story.
I have literally 9 lives. I'm like the 9 live cat in my family.
And which one are you on right now?
He's got to be on
like 10.
5 or 6. You're not on
literally
10.
20.
10, you would be dead.
You're
You
not
wouldn't
on
be the
10.
9 live
There's
guy.
a couple you're
I
counting
am-
that aren't.
I
near
am a
this.
cat, dude.
He stubbed his toe last night. He counted one.
So okay.
A
Here
minivan
goes,
ran
here
over
goes a
him.
little story, okay? So me and Mike, and I don't think Dominic, were you there or no?
Yeah, I was there. I was actually the only witness. So,
So,
I want to hear what you say.
this
and
is
then
my
I'll tell you
story.
This
This
is
is-
50% fact.
Here's
but-
what this is my story, okay? So we're up skateboard. Mike is skateboarding. Dom's playing around with him as well, and like I'm up there. I think I have my skateboard, but I didn't know how to stand on foot yet. I would only be able to like kick
Knee
pedal,
ride.
like
Yeah, what
knee
do you-
ride.
what do you-
Dan was
3?
like 5.
Yeah.
I was what 6?
5 or 6.
He was
6.
5,
Okay.
built like a 14-year-old.
Yeah. Let's not forget who rode a 2-wheel bike at 3 years old. Okay, I was the most athletic. In the
What are you, a fucking
Okay.
You
circus
just
bear?
went De Niro right there a little bit.
So
Forget I rode a bike, huh? 3 years old. I don't know. I heard
So I'm
things.
up there and I'm watching them, just whatever, play around, skateboard, whatever. In comes mom. Mom goes to Dom and says like, "Hey, it's time for dinner." Mom goes back down. We lived down the block, and the place that we were at was up a hill, and it was called Cabrillo elementary school.
Yeah.
So
Now a homeless shelter. By the way.
So time for dinner. First goes Dom, right? You left, and it was just me and Mike.
I'm gonna
This
let
is
you
just
tell
me and
your,
Mike.
Your rendition.
And so
I'll clean it up.
Mike goes down the hill fast on his, standing up, going straight. And Mike goes down the hill and goes across the street. Here's a 4-corner intersection, and our house is over here on this side. Mike goes across the street this way, and Dan, for some reason, decides to cross the street going this way, left. So I'm here, and Mike's across over here, and I yell over to Mike. I say, "Hey, Mike, what do I do? Do I cross the street?" It's either Mike or Dom.
I never heard Mike catch the heat for this.
It's
but
either
I
Mike
like
or
it.
Dom. It's
I
either
like it.
Dom or Mike. I don't remember.
Me.
That's
Dan didn't make a mistake.
So
I was
yeah.
home.
So okay.
I
So
watched
I
it
think
all
I
happen.
yell over to Dom and I say, "Dom, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?" And Dom says, "Look both ways, like cross the street." And I'm kick
back on the
pedaling
hook.
on my knee. This is just my recollection.
Yeah.
I'm kick pedaling on my knee, a little slowly, very slowly. To my left is like a workers, painters, like 90s van, like one of those ones where like, it's like
Those
a
ones where
very
you go inside and you don't ever come back.
yeah.
out.
So
they offered you candies
candy.
or running
You could
your ass
also
over.
buy ice cream. As
yes.
well from
So
the truck.
I fell in the middle of the street, and
From your knees?
yeah.
How uncoordinated were you?
I was 5.
He was 5, man. He was a little kid.
I fell in the middle of the street in the crosswalk. The guy in the van must have not been paying attention because I think he thought that I had crossed the street.
Sure, you're small. He
I'm
can't see
small,
you down
very
there.
small, and he couldn't see. And my leg was out, and he ran over my leg completely at 5 years old. And just all I remember is literally like slow, like it was something. This is all I remember, like out of a movie, just like a slow, like boom. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I know, screaming, yelling.
You got a
Dom,
contract.
Mom screaming, Dad coming down, everyone's screaming.
Did your leg explode?
And
Well, we're
what
gonna hear the
came-
real
we're gonna-
story in a second.
Let me let me finish.
Let him get through this.
All I remember next is ending up in bed because I didn't want to I was too afraid to like go to the hospital. So I ended up in bed. All I remember is my mom handed me a piece of pizza and I stopped
Bullet
crying.
dryers.
Oh,
I
that
stopped
actually,
crying.
that right there.
I believe that part.
That's what explains
EMTs
a lot
nailed
of
that part.
who you are now, actually.
EMTs come into my room. They take the little temperature on my thumb. And, they're doing all these vitals, whatever. And I didn't want to go in the ambulance. I was afraid. I didn't want to go.
So he brought pizza out.
I don't
lured you
remember.
like a rabbit in
That
the
I
carrot.
don't remember. But then I
Into
remember
the van
is
that ran him over.
being in my parents' car. We go to the hospital. Long story short, it was just a bone bruise. Nothing happened. That's my.
Clean her up.
Okay, here we go.
Basically,
Okay.
we're coming home. Dan's going down this hill. He's on the skateboard. He's just doing the on the knee.
pedal.
He never fell. He's just kind of like going through. He's going
No,
through.
that's a compliment. You're more
it's a
coordinated
compliment.
than I
Dude,
gave
you didn't want to fall off that thing.
You're done.
He's kind of scooting again. You nailed the part. The van can't see him. It goes right over his leg.
So it goes over.
It goes.
Yes.
It completely runs his leg over, and Dan just gets up and kind of like, and like
This
kind of
story's
runs
worse.
over to the corner, and my mom's and he gets up and he had no injury whatsoever. Nil.
Do you know why that happened? Because his leg was small enough
Yeah.
to where the wheel just went over the board, and basically there was a small gap in
I
between.
don't. I think
No,
ran
it went
his
over.
leg over.
It
Dude.
ran my leg over.
Pretty sure. I
I-
saw
I-
it.
I mean, you can
I
get your
remember
foot.
seeing it, just thinking like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be able to take the bros to the parks anymore."
It ran my leg
I'm
over.
fired.
It felt the
I know
tire
it
on
did.
my leg.
He got ran over.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference, like surface area. I'm no physics major, but like surface
Your bones
area.
are not like.
Well, not only that, but like
developed
impact,
Yeah.
right? You get one fucking punch as opposed to like a broad punch impact. It's definitely possible you get run
Moral
over.
story
my,
is
my
I'm
theory, my
Superman.
theory is that the leg stayed on the board.
Yeah.
And the board, the
that's a
pliability of
flex.
the board gave it a little bend.
Right, that's
Possibly
what I
does.
was
So
trying
it
to
gave.
say.
Well, you
Possibly,
said
yeah.
it made a void space, and that his leg was never
His
touched.
leg was small enough.
I believe
No,
that the
my leg
was
was
here,
ran over.
The board was there, over leg and board.
What you guys believe didn't happen. I was the one that it happened to.
You were 6, dude. You didn't even know.
I remember
You thought it
a
was. You were just going to
wheel
blame
going
Mike.
over my
You said
leg.
you yelled to Mike. Mike was at the park
that-
still
well,
doing
that part
tricks.
is different, but it's the most vivid.
Unreliable witness, dude.
Yeah, but the
Thrown
most
out of
vivid
court.
part of it, I do remember, is the
What do you
wheel
think?
going over my leg.
I think that that memory is a very slippery thing.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is.
That's what I
and,
think.
and we know that evidence based.
Yeah.
Not to get into too many things, but we still
Yeah, I know
got this
that's
court
true.
system based upon memory, and every psychologist knows that memory is not
Not
restored.
reliable.
Yeah.
You're really
Eyewitness
interested.
accounts.
You're really interested in psychology, huh?
I do.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. Well, I think it obviously forms who we are and drives our world. In many ways, and I joke about it, but I am very interested. And I'm also just kind of a hater, and so like I psychoanalyze. I have no background. I just psychoanalyze everybody I meet and judge the fuck out of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So if we're gonna stick to the plan, we should break here and
Yeah.
go to part
Do
2.
you guys want to go into part
kill
2?
for a bathroom break.
We'll do a bathroom break. Come back.
Yeah.
Get a bridge to bridge part 2.
Yeah.
Okay, is that
Yeah.
how we want to do it?
Yeah, if you got a little bit of time. All right, plug away real quick,
No,
ladies and.
I haven't got a message, so that's fine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. We're going to do part 2, and who knows, because we're not going to lead anymore. We still got the Three Stooges with us, but we're going to be on their podcast
Yes,
called
sir.
Bridge to Bridge.
Bridge to Bridge podcast. Yes,
And
sir.
they asked me to be on like a year ago.
No, hell, a couple
And
weeks
then,
ago.
oh,
And
I'll show
Brian
I got
Sabian
receipts.
from the San
Us.
Francisco
We got
Giants.
receipts. Well, first I had my manager kind of do the deal, and then they're too busy like talking to Nick Saban and Dwayne
Brian-
the Rock Johnson or
Yeah.
something, and
Who
so they're like,
knows?
Mike who? And I was a little bit offended because although I am not worthy of those titles, I think I can talk with the best of them.
Well, this speaks for itself. We were out of line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
thank
that.
you.
We were a
Thank
little
you.
out
Excuse
of
me.
line.
I like
what are you
that.
talking?
I like
we,
that.
This is, I mean,
We
this
do
is-
work
Thank
a
you.
little COVID
Thank you,
friendly
Dom.
in
Yeah,
our
yeah,
studio,
yeah.
but
All right, so
Well, that's why I said welcome to like a real
professionals.
Yeah.
This is the professionals.
They've been doing. Jim's been.
I know. I
We've been
get
in
it.
like the top 50 for a decade straight, but besides that point,
big
it's not a
deal.
big deal.
Yeah.
Literally, I actually just looked this up the other day. Literally 0.1%
Besides
Top.
that, though, besides that,
of all time.
yeah.
Oh,
Besides
wow.
that, we don't
Yes,
really know
yes.
much about talking, so
huge.
don't mind us.
That's
It's
dope.
not bad, and it's
Yeah,
all
that's
because of this guy.
amazing. Yeah.
It's all because
Yeah.
of this guy.
Wow.
I will say that I've never done this setup exactly this way
No,
before.
that's why it feels
Wait,
like
this
an
is the
ad-lib
first
thing.
time?
This is
We're
the first
doing
time
it like
we've done it
this.
this
We normally
way.
on like a
Normally he has
desk.
a
Yeah.
table.
Oh, that's
We
right.
always do 5 people a lot, but
Yeah.
we thought it was fitting.
You
Yeah,
take
this is the lineup style.
This
Yeah.
is dope.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is
This
usual
like
suspects
Rappaport
lineup
status.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking Backstreet Boys, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
I was thinking
you
of
know?
Temptations, but yeah,
Yeah, that could-
for sure.
But go ahead and plug away maybe your socials and the podcast so people can find you. Hit them with it.
Bridge to Bridge podcast on Instagram, B2BSF on Twitter, and we're available on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Our website is www.bridgetobridgesf.com.
Dan, go ahead, dude. Get your couple followers, buddy. You're single, ladies. He's single.
You can find me at StormCloud415. You already know this because most of you already follow me. So, no, I'm just joking.
You want
Give me a
the follow.
CPG plug.
No,
Wow.
Hit it,
that's
dude. Just
my-
hit it.
Come on, dude.
You're not trying to make money? Okay, never mind
Yeah.
then, dude. No, none of
Dan
us-
has a security
I do run
company.
a private security business. You can find us at Capital with an A Protection Group on Instagram.
If you ever go to McDonald's in downtown Sacramento, CPG's. I'm just joking. All right, come on.
Yep.
We're joking.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for listening. Rating review, as always, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, any repost. We'd love to see that you're listening. 3sb.co. If you want to check out our apparel, very limited sizing left. And if not,
grab a football, grab a water bottle.
Yeah, otherwise you got to wait. 8 weeks, probably next drop. We'll see. I'm Selling Mike everywhere you want to find me.
I'm at DJ McD on all the social media. And next week is where our conversation about pumping iron. And we're going to have a guest as far as we know.
Yeah.
And
Dean Sidoris of Caffeine and Kilos, we're going to review pumping iron.
Yeah. So if you have thoughts about pumping iron, you can send it to us at info@50percentfacts.com, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. And we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Gang.
That was
Talk to you sometime next week.